Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome. I'm Daniel G. Garza, and this is Particular Conversations, a special edition, 10 o'clock in the morning, waking you folks up with a little bit of conversations. Thank you for joining us. I want to start by welcoming everybody who's watching us on all of our channels, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitter. Thank you for joining. Please be part of the conversation. Any questions, any comments you might have about my guest, and I'll tell you more about them in a minute. Please share this on your pages so your friends and family can join in the conversation. If you're on YouTube, can you do us a favor? Scroll down and hit that subscribe button and like the video. It really helps us a lot. On Twitter, if you'd like to tweet the show, ask some questions, I will have my phone and checking Twitter for any comments. This morning, I have a really cool friend. We recently met, and let me tell you a little bit about him. Where is his? There he is. Mycah Lee Arellano has over 30 years of nonprofit professional and volunteer leadership management, research development, and communications experience focusing on education, governance, parental engagement, capacity, strategic thinking, board engagement, professional and organization development, and advocacy. Mycah is known as a passionate, strong community leader. He founded Project Insight in 2001, an initiative to empower individuals by promoting their physical, mental, and emotional well-being through offering creative healing and educational tools. I can't read commas this morning. He is a licensed and certified substance abuse clinical and certified life coach through the creative journal expression of art therapy. Mycah was born in South Texas in Edinburgh and was raised along with his 5 siblings by his single mother. He spent his formative years an economically disadvantaged neighborhood commonly known as the barrio. It was in the barrio where Mycah held onto a dream that he wanted a better life for himself and his family. So I am excited to hear about his story. Let's bring him onto the screen. Good morning, Mycah. How are you doing, sir?
It's Wake Up, Shake Up Sunday. We're doing good. I'm in tour. It's Wake Up, Shake Up. Everybody, we gotta shake up. Hopefully, we'll shake up people. I'm just honored to be in your show because together in a conversation we can transform, inspire people in global. So it's my honor to be with you guys, and I am traveling. I might want to thank you for see what we can transform people today in our conversation.
That is so awesome. Now, Mycah and I connected. We connected on
Ooh,
social media.
yeah, yeah,
We go
yeah.
way back. Well, it's odd because hello to all la raza out there in South Texas. Uh,
Yeah, that says a lot of to the Valle, to people in South Texas, Los Tejanos, South
because
Texas,
my
El
sister lives
Valle.
in Mission. My sister lives in
Yeah,
Mission, and I lived in McAllen for several years. So I'm surprised that we met. Well, actually, we're like 1 degree of separation because we probably know some of the same people. We ran
yeah.
around kind of the same circles, but just in different crowds. Juntos pero no revueltos, como dicen.
That's, that's right.
Uh, but then we connected on social media because I like to tell folks how we met, and then once you were down here, we went and had a really great lunch at the Spectrum here in Irvine, and
Yeah.
you're just a ball of energy. Yeah, I'm so glad that you're here.
That's why I'm single because my energy burns. It burns people that tolerate the nonsense. It's
You
just my
know,
energy. If you're not being transparent with me on a date, on business or whatever, my energy was just burn you quick. And so, for those that are applying right now for my application, being single, go on a date with me, guess what? Get it be ready.
ya saben, apúntense. Let's start signing up for those dates.
Remember, I'm from the valley, so I say it how it is, right?
But
Hmm.
I'm gonna tell them, please send me your resumes with photos
You make a
and back
commission out of that.
and complete bank account numbers, and we will start working on this dating. I'll be your matchmaker. Like, oh yeah, that's how it is.
Ándale, we'll find out. Besides, there will be another show.
But there's
You
another
got
show.
it. There's
Este,
another show.
the,
Opportunities, oportunidades.
the dating game, Mycah edition.
Who's to know? Life is full of surprises, isn't
Oh,
it?
you Mycah. So on your bio, we just heard a little bit about your.
It's tanto to read. It's tanto to read. It's
Yeah, but I
a
mean,
lot.
from where you started to where you are now. So let's get the conversation started. Mycah Lee Arellano, tell us how you put it together.
It was when I was probably 4 years old. And again, thank you for having me in your wonderful platform that is transforming. It's about, I was, I guess, the age about 4 years old. There was this program in La Ciudad de Mexico. The man was very popular. His name was Luis Pelayo was the beyond platforms than what we have now, the talk show. He was very well known global. So about 4 years old, I got in front of the TV and I had a toothbrush. No, it was a brush. And I thought I was doing a co-host of being interviewed in front of him. So my grandfather, que es paz descanse, rest in peace, he said, "Mijo." I said, "What?" "My son." I said, "What, Papa?" I said, "You're going to be on TV." How what he saw, what he heard, have no idea. But in my 40s, I created the first school district in Texas. The first parental engagement, the first Latino gay having a talk show for parents, and it was successful for 10 years. But coming from the barrios in South Texas, my mom raised, single parent. This is the best that she could. She had no education, and she said everything is possible in life. And living in the barrio is an experience. See, life teaches us everything that events that happen. There's just experience. I believe there is no coincidence in life. I believe there's no bad mistakes. There are just experience in life to align as a discipline to whatever we are transforming in our life journey. So living in the barrio taught us a lot. No comíamos. We had no food sometimes. Sleep on the floors. We were migrants, campesinos. And so all those lessons, events taught me to overcome certain things in my life. And I can make a commitment to myself that when I become more aware of the awareness of the universe and energy and the divine within me, that I would transform and inspire people with my own words. And that's what's happening. That's what happened. And my brother Tavi, that will probably be in your future program, we're going to South Texas this coming fall to record in the barrio how we, our brothers, siblings, overcome the economically challenge um, and what we become now to give back. So all started from the barrio, being economically challenged.
And it's interesting that people might be watching this and going, "Well, there's barrios everywhere, there's ghettos everywhere," but having being from Texas too, there is a certain there is
Tears.
oppression. Yeah, there's oppression in general when you're underprivileged, when you're poor.
Yeah,
But then there's this other layer when you live on a border town, because
yeah.
there is. See, me entiendes? Like you understand what I'm talking about. I can't
I call
put
them
the words.
tears of people that are not from Texas don't understand, and they living in the border of the frontier, like Mexico and Texas, United States. There's tears there. We in society have the rich, the poor, the middle class. In South Texas, it is the middle class that supports the rich, wealthy, and the lower class. And in between the lower class, there is another lower class. And that's what I teach in my literature. And in culture, there's cultures within Latinos, there's cultures. In the economically challenged, underprivileged, there is different tiers, different levels of people that we have the obligation to empower people to overcome the stories of their events that happen. See, as a leader, I'm an agent. I am an agent. I'm an agent to overcome, to inspire, transform, and inspire people through my message. And if you're ready. And so in the valley, being poor is there are different tiers. People have the public housing, and some people don't have the public housing. Another tier of being economically challenged. So I think as we leaders come into to society to deliver a message, is a leader always has to do it from his heart. It does not come from the super ego. We're here, we're not here to nourish our ego. We're here to motivate humanity. That's one of my message. Here to nourish our ego. We're here to motivate humanity. And when we do that, we see the result.
Yeah,
We see the
and
results how we transforming people.
And I think that I wanted to highlight that what you just said because it's so important to like. I didn't come from money. My parents, my mom was an immigrant. My dad was born in the States, but they lived in Mexico. So it's like as you start climbing, you there's two group. I always say there's two group of Latinos. There's the Latinos that as they move up, they're pulling the ladder down. It's like, orale, like how many can I get in? It's like going to the drive-in. How many can I sneak in the trunk so we can all succeed and watch the movie? And then there's the group of Latinos who climb and forget their roots. And I
Right.
consider you the person who's like, how many people can I help get up? And there's this extra. I mean, because I feel like I do that sometimes. I try to highlight people as much as I can. I mean, that's why I have my own show. But uh, do you feel like there's an added pressure once you start rising above?
This is my own beliefs, my interpretation over 30 years of leadership and being in the social marketing and all, etc. As a motivator, a global wide, it comes from the heart as a leader. It has to come from the heart. Otherwise, if you do it temporarily, it will be temporary if you get to that or become famous, it'll fall. Because when it doesn't come from the heart, and this is what Oprah, when I met her in 2014, said, you have it aligned. Give from the heart, the resources financially, fame, everything comes in order. It comes from the heart. When it does come from the heart, does not come from the heart, it will collapse. You see a lot of celebrities that collapse because it's not from the heart. Yeah, again, here we go. The message. We're not here to nourish our super ego. We're here to motivate humanity with our tool. But you talked about two occasions in populations. It could be any culture. Let's talk about like the Latinos. We have Latinos that empower, influence people. Dame tu mano, give me your hand, and I'll teach you how to fish for your life, and it helps you, empowerment and engagement. And then you see results. I like results, actually. And you see the other population of humanity that they get there and they empower people. The reason is this comes from a story, an event in the past. Fear. See, right now, people listening to us, you want to launch something, and something tells you what for, para qué. That comes what I study and I teach in leadership and in any platform is how the brain manifests itself. Right brain, left and right brain. So our left brain is always going to critique us. It's going to be sub-personality in our lives. So the left brain would say it's about reading numbers. Right brain is the creativity, the spirituality. All that has to be combined together working. 85% of our society managed with our left brain, critiques. And sometimes we're not successful. Relationships, business. And we need to come together to manifest how the brain works. But we have leaders that only think from the left brain. Is the super ego, that's all they want. And they get that. But you have strong leaders that manifest from the right brain, how it functions, purpose. You got to know the purpose of your life today. If you don't, let's start figuring it out. I always tell leaders when I do leadership, I'm going to give them 3 questions. Who are you? How do you feel? How can you help? You write those questions with the hand that you normally write, which is the dominant. You answer those 3 questions with the hand you normally don't write, which is non-dominant. And that is connected to the right and left brain, and it revealed who are you as a leader? How do you feel as a leader? And how may I help? How may I help myself? Or how may I help the community?
For instance, now before we continue, let me just remind everybody you're watching Put It Together Conversations. I'm your host, Daniel G. Garza. My guest today is Mycah Lee Arellano, and we're talking about life, finding your purpose, para qué, why. So let me segue into that because I that is one of the questions. Buenos días. Saludos a la carita de Guadalajara. Buenos días. And why take on everything you've taken on? Why do everything that you're doing? Have you ever stopped to ask yourself, like those
I
mornings when
actually
you,
pull my
yeah,
hair.
those mornings when you're like, ay
Why?
Dios mío,
Dios mío.
like,
Why? But there's no why, is why not? For me, my journey is why not? And it started not because 4 years old. I'm a survivor of child abuse. My book is coming out next year, gracias a Dios. Looking to inspire adults, educators, the book, coming out in January. But to me, it's why not, God? Why not? I'm very spiritual, you know that. And why not? And hopefully my new significant other in the future, it knows, understands spiritually, not religion-wise, spiritually. And the thing is, why not? When I was a 21-year-old, I was in an accident. I'm a near death experience. I died completely. And I think I shared that with you in our luncheon. If not, here we go, right? And I had an amazing spiritual awareness week. And I knew through that experience why I'm here, what's my purpose. So I know the purpose for my life is to transform, inspire, and part of the evolution of humanity. We're in this state right now. COVID was just came to wake us up, an opportunity, whatever that might be. But we're in that stage of evolution. Why? Because we have to figure out today, not tomorrow, not mañana, what is your purpose? If you're engaged in leadership, what's your purpose? If you're engaging in a relationship, what's your purpose? I always say this to people in business or in relationship. ¿Qué aportas? What do you offer to that relationship, business, or a relationship or marriage? And then ask yourself, what are you going to give to that relation? 5 things in business. Ask yourself, what are you going to give to 5 things in business? And then what is that business giving to you? It's part of defining and aligning what is your purpose in life. And it changes, and we know that. But I know the purpose in life. So to me, it's why not? It's why not? I would say in the mornings when I meditate and walk, bring it on. But if I go to opportunities in my life journey that are challenging, would you resolve it? My universe and God with me in a it's what it is. Part of my work is called vision, and it's mapping your road, your path, your career, relationship. That's part of the program that we have. Vision. That's where we're on the road promoting that. But been a part of so many things is I give back to the community, and it's why not? Right now we're doing it's called Joyful Hands. One of my brother, my family just created a foundation called the Arellano's Foundation. That's in the process. Because the experience in the barrio, we're giving back global wide. So when I'm doing the tour, my team, we study what's that community needs. So right now in Cabo, they're wanting a cocina, kitchen. So my sponsors are funding that and how we inspire, empower people. We buy the materials, the community builds brick by brick the kitchen.
Yeah. So we have a question on the board. It says, Mycah, many times people are only willing to give or encourage change until it affects their comfort. How do you help your clients or peers to overcome this roadblock?
It's a story they come from. The story that we know is it could be events from our life journey. So how do we overcome that to find out why we have that bumpy road constantly? Where is it coming from? It is a story that you have to face it, get it by the bulls by horns, face it and overcome it. This is what I say to anybody. Why are you letting that story, that fear, or the guilt, that experience take ownership of your life journey present? Does it have a value? It doesn't have a value. Or that experience in your life in leadership or relationship, is it a fact or is it interpretation? 95% is interpretation.
Yeah. Because
and that's how we overcome.
Because both you and I work with clients, and I find myself sometimes with clients who, well, it's because I come from this. And I'm like, but you're not there anymore. Well, when I was little, we didn't have. I'm like, but you have it now. Like, I didn't go to the best schools. Yes, but you're smart and you're intelligent. So why are you holding on to that? It's like a comfort blanket, no? It's like.
But why is it comfort? But the question is, Daniel, why you keep having that comfort blanket? Yep. Does it have a value? It doesn't have a value. 95% doesn't have a value. Now, this is why we created. I became the founder of Project Insight based in San Antonio. I want to thank the board of Project Insight and also Dr. Marshall for the really organization. That's what we do with our practitioners, clinicians. We go in size working with right brain, left brain. All of us is to inspire, to overcome those obstacles, those what I call them stories. Because again, why right now you're listening today, right now with us? Why are you letting that experience, a story, taking ownership in your life to overcome it? Because everything is yours. You know, everything starts in a vision. That's one of my slogans is everything starts in a vision. That's why I believe in arts, because art is the foundation, being creative. But we want doctors, have a host like you with your creativity. So we need to own art. One, first of all, it's art. Talking about art, you're gonna get one of these, by the way. You're gonna get one of these, and you know, I'm gonna give one also to the audience. You can throw a question, so who's going? This is my new cups coming out. It's called Mycah Mike. My brother Tommy. His color is freedom. That's his little slogan. But we're partnered up with his company, and we're doing cups from Mike on the road, and then I'll have some other items. But you know, you get one today, and then you want to give one to your audience. Throw a question and see who wins it. Okay, you know, why not have a cup of coffee with Mike on Mike?
We're gonna create a little question out there, a little trivia question. See if they paid attention to the show.
So does that answer I hope that answered the question to overcome those, you know, we'll call it the bumpy road maps. Life is like a map.
It's because I feel like the world, society already puts us in a box. The moment you were born, you're given these boxes: male, healthy, Latino, whatever. And I talk about labels to some of the speeches that I do, because I was given a lot of labels in my life, and then when I became positive, I was given a label. And cancer survivor, I was given a label. And you start. It's like painting over a house, and they just keep painting over it. You finally hide the house from the people, like you don't see the house anymore. I feel like, and not just Latinos, for everybody watching. I always say about Latinos because I'm Latino, and I can only reference me because that's all I know.
Right.
But
right.
I think as humans, especially now, you talked about the lockdown, especially now, this is a great opportunity for you at home that you have time still to figure out what your destination is. Because I'll let you talk about this, but I heard on the news that people are talking about people don't want to come back to work, people don't want to work anymore. But then on the other side, there was another article that said, no, it's not that people don't want to go back to work, is that people don't want to go back to the same conditions they were before. They've discovered a freedom, they freed their mind from those stories. And they're like, why do I want to go back to a cubicle working 60 hours a week, building up somebody else's dream when I can work those same hours building up my dream? Does that make sense?
Well, the stage of evolution. That's what it says. That's what I mentioned. Forming each other one another. And we are going to go back to work in different platforms. It's going to be bigger and better, not what it was. We can't live in that story. Out of something that story. But you know, when you come to the light, to this physical vessel, you are conditioned because your parents, genetically, the right brain genetic science here, genetically, your parents and not let go of the stories from your tarabuelos, your tios, blah, 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 from your great grandparents. So that story, that gene stays in there. And so you're developed as you're developing to become a human being, as a vessel, use this vessel, you come out, and you already have those stories. They come from generations. You, as you implement tools, methods to overcome the stories, then you overcome the stories. We have so many people out there, clinicians, doctors, celebrities, they still live in that story. And so you see them come into different relationships in the media. But what did she go back? Well, he go back to that individual. It's a story that they owned it and dragged it to the present. And so we know that we take ownership of what you're the driver of your own bus. The stories, conditions, disease are just passengers in your bus. Now, when you let the condition, disease, become the driver of your bus, Houston, we have a problem. So you need to learn today, not mañana, today, to become the driver of your bus. That was my old slogan in years ago in my talk show. I tell parents, you're the driver of your child's bus. You are the driver of yourself, of your journey, your destination, where you're going. And when people come and it's a bumpy road, figure out why it's a bumpy road. Why is it bumpy road? What story? Why does it come back and remind me? How do I overcome that story? You can go back into a situation that was very challenging, and an opportunity that it was maybe a crisis or whatever, but you find resources. I'm talking resources. I want people to know this. Either it's spiritually, physically, someone was there to overcome, and whatever you're dealing right now, challenges. Can you implement those resources to your present? I guarantee you can and overcome. I'm going to tell you an example. I lost my partner 22 years ago. May he rest in peace. And so I have resources, emotional support network. And so when I'm dealing with this past year, as I'm going through a divorce, it's in the process to be final. So I implement those resources in my present. Where's my network? My family, my friends. So I overcome that. Do I need more emotional support? Do we have a clinician to help me overcome that? I'm happier than ever being who I am, being single. I own that now. I own it. And I know this, that no one could take my integrity, my dignity. And so either the person that comes in my life in business or relationship needs to be transparent. And when you're in that higher awareness, what I call it, you'll know it. You'll feel it. 10 feet away, you feel what's the intention of that business or intention of that relationship.
That's very cool. All right, before we continue, let me remind everybody you're watching Put Together Conversations. I'm your host, Daniel G. Garza. My guest today is Mr. Mycah Lee Arellano, and we're talking about life, about no mañana, today, and how to take control of your life. But there's so much more to you. Let's face it, you're a celebrity. You've done a lot of stuff, not just for your community, but like across countries, basically. Tell us about some of your projects.
I got to tell you, I don't see myself as a celebrity. I see myself as an agent of change. That's why I see myself, agent of change. To change, besides me, I got to do my internal work, and I'm doing that constantly. And through that change, I have devoted myself to inspire, transform more people as they walk through my life. The word sana, and they want me to say sana. What I say there is the spirit that I believe. Shared with you, I was real sick about a year ago. I overcome that. So I made a commitment to my God that I will continue devoting myself to transform and inspire people, work together, of whatever it is global wide. So you ask, you shall receive, right? So we started this project. It's called In Hands, and it was in Cabo San Lucas, and so I went there because I had, we're on the road promoting all engagement. So during the radios and TV, like I said, we engage in community. And somebody approached me and said, "I want you to come see this barrio." And I thought barrio was like South Texas. The barrios in different cultures in different areas of global wide countries are very different. So I went there and I did an assessment, and we work in Mi Cocina Su Cocina, a little small area. When this lady, and I could mention Tomasa, there's so much dedication to the community. Also, she's being the chef. She doesn't know she's a chef, but I think she's a chef, and provides foods during the week for family that have no resources to feed their family. So we donate, merchandise and with products, food, and all that. And she cooks, and she has some volunteers. So I was invited to. I made some donations. And I got sponsored donate for the meals for that week, and I did an observation. And she said, what's your heart desire? I need a kitchen. Because she's actually, un barril, just un barril, just a container. She does the food. She feeds 200 people every day. So being my devoted to my commitment, and so I reached to the community sponsors to help her out, to help us out. And so we're now starting Mi Cocina Su Cocina, the project, and probably by August. And this is what you got to devote yourself to something that's your heart desire. And to me is I'm an agent of change. I do not look myself, I see myself as the celebrity. Um, I share with you, I'm very private. Who's the circle of my friendship? I'm very aware of that. Who's here with me, who is wants something from me, and I give back to you. I would say, you take care of me, I'll take care of you. That's what it is. That's that ladder. Remember, leadership. I help you. You help me. I help you. I help you. I help me. The minute that you give your hand to someone, and they extend their hand, you just gotta let it go. We can't change people. We only could change some.
Mycah, so we have
Somebody has a
another question
question.
about it. Yeah, it says you mentioned you experienced abuse. Do you feel comfortable talking a little bit about more about that experience?
Being abused psychologically, emotionally, and sexually, I talk about that. I'm a survivor. I'm not a victim. Maybe I was a victim when it happened. Vale, that's okay. But I'm a survivor. And the thing about that the universe has given me writing this book, it's taken us 2 years and it's a short book. But going through that journey, and I want to thank the guest that just mentioned that question, because, it's a lot of work internally that I've been doing. Being a clinician, I have to do more work too. But going, as permission to my little child inside, we're going to go to that story in the past only. We're going to walk through that journey to dissect it quick, put it together for the book. The purpose for the book to inspire, transform people's life. It's child abuse, sexual child abuse is a disease, and how do we overcome the disease or the virus? Is provide resources, have a dialogue, conversation, for leaders, political leaders, to our parents, and so I went to that story and to get information what I was writing the book. I went through I felt the pain, but I was grounded. I cried and I cried and I cried. I'm writing the book and I'm crying because he brought me to those moments, but something inside of me, besides my spiritual divine, the protective parent myself, was there with me. Because we only went to ask permission to the inner source and the child. We're gonna go side by side, but go to that story, collect the information, and bring it to here for the awareness for the humanity. And I walked in there and I sat very clear, and we walked through this. I also forgave many years ago. It was a relative. I write a note in the graveside. I had to forgive myself, because the body, when I was a child, responded, and it's just the body. The vessel response for defense mechanism was to respond. The abuse is psychological. I was literally raped from 4 years old to about 6 years old. And I used to go to the bathroom and go to the doctor. And the doctor would say he has an infection in bladder, so that's why he urinates. And I could hear the doctor say, "Could somebody just ask me somebody to touch me?" No one did. So I am devoted to write this book. It's ready to come out. I'm excited. We're going to inspire and transform people's lives. There's a child right now. There's a parent out there. There's someone listening to us right now, Daniel, that went through it. You're not alone. Find the resources out there. Overcome that story. See, that story that happened to me, it's not owner of my life journey. It was at one time, no longer. I deal with unhealthy relationships. I was in relationships that are abusive. Until I realized that I brought that story to those relationships, no longer I don't need that. It doesn't have no value right now. The only value that it has is because I write the book, I wrote the book, and it's coming out, So I like to have those conversations, to wake up, shake up people. That's what we are here for.
I think man, you just touched on something that's so important. Is that we go back to those moments, not to live in it, but just to get the details, the stuff that we as children aren't able to see. But now as adults, you can go back and go, oh, this is what happened. And there's something that you said that so resonated with me because I had to do that in my own therapy, was forgive myself. Forgive myself because my body didn't know that what was happening was bad. My mind did, but my body was like, because I was molested as a child too, and then later on in my teens, and my brain knew that something was wrong, that this wasn't supposed to be happening, but my body was reacting as anybody's body would react, and it's like, so as an adult, you grow up with that, and then yes, it affects your relationships, not just with potential partners, but with everybody else around you, the way they touch you, the way they hold you, and the people that know me very well, I'm not a very touchy-feely person. It's like, don't touch me. Like if I'm not,
Personal
if I'm
space.
not,
Personal
yeah.
space.
If I'm not asking you for a hug, if I'm not coming to you, like don't. But that's residue from being a child of that.
And I'm the opposite. To get to know you, I'm here with open arms. To know you first. How do I know people in business to negotiate with what I do, or relationships as friends, or in a future relationship as a partner? Your word says it all. If first word comes in your mouth, how you say it, I nailed it. Your words are what's your intention? What is your intention in business? What is your intention in relationship? Talking to a 50-year-old man here, it's getting bigger and bigger. But let this little blonde hair or whatever, Rubio, confuse you. But it's like by the time you want to sell tamales, I already sold tamales for tomorrow. I'm getting ready. That's what I tell people. You know what I mean? So we're not here to play games. I don't want that. I don't need that. Mycah's very happy. I'm happy with a partner and I'm happy without a partner. I love myself because my network has been there with me. And my God is with me every day. And, I share with you, we had lunch. My journey the past year has been kind of interesting. And I overcome that because I believe in that divine in me. And yeah.
I think it's so important too that first of all, I think it's very scary for a lot of us to tackle some of those things, some of those stories that we've held on to forever that are our comfort zone. But then once you start taking off that layer and you realize how big your wings can flap and how far they can take you, you don't hold on to stories anymore. You don't, right? You don't, like something negative happens or something that's perceived negative, and you're like, well, saw it. Let's keep going. Does that make sense?
I call those, and not to be disrespectful for the listeners, somebody, but we have this in our culture. It's called chingaderas, but I call it chingaders. Those are chingaders. So you tell people from now on, Mike said chingaders. You know what? A relationship has a lot of chingaders. Bye-bye. That business contract didn't work. Has a lot of chingaders. Call it chingaders. Because you ask yourself, why the chingaders are there? Why is it this relationship with these people that I come out and meet and date or whatever business, whatever? Chingaders, I tell my friend, and they love it. When I travel, it goes, I love it how you say it. It is sweet and sour. It's chingaders, get rid of it. Does he have ownership? Why? And it does have ownership and value. Tell me, how is that ownership? And how is that value digesting your system? How do you feel in the morning? So chingaderos.
Yeah, ¿cuántas veces? I mean, if you're Latino, you probably heard this. Ahí viene la comadre con sus chingaderas. Para que... Ay, no le abras. Don't open the door porque ahí viene la comadre.
Get rid of the comadre. Tell her not today. You have ownership of your life. and own it. And we gotta celebrate every moment. I'm celebrating right here with you and your platform and the audience. Thank you. Gotta own that. Life is so pretty, but too short. It's too fragile. Life is too fragile. People have no idea. And so own it and go, whoa, wake up. And there you go again. But people say when I go, when I do that, is a connection for the universe and divine tells me that I am vibrating. I am vibrating my energy to you. So a lot of my interviews, it just comes out. And people say, can you say that? I go, say what? I don't know what I'm saying. It comes out because it's the energy. And every Oprah has her own, whoa, there you go. She has her own moment. You see when it comes out? Because it's that awareness, it's that energy. It says like we're vibrating. And that's just so important to own it. Celebrate success. Celebrate anything. It could be, I was doing some business. We did a good job. There you go. I celebrate it. You gotta own it. If you got rid of chingaderas, own it.
And for those of you who are wondering, how do you spell that? Here you go, chingaderas. So when somebody comes at you and you're like you don't have a word for their.
They gotta remember. They gotta remember chingaderas and just show.
Yeah, if somebody comes at you with their mess and like you're like there comes that girl with
you can translate. It's called the BS. The BS is chingaderas. Instead of chingaderas, call it chingaderas. So I listened to the putting it together conversations with Daniel and Mycah. It's called chingaderas. So if somebody's lying to you,
give it your own spin. Give it your own chingaderas.
Well, you're going on a date and the ghosting you. I don't know why people are doing that still. And ghosting you, it's chingaderas. Get rid of it. That's what I tell people. Somebody asked me just to meet and mingle, and I always say, "What's your intention?" You can't answer me. What's your intention? Where's the energy? Is this business? We need to know me for a different level because right now this business, I'm rocking it. If you're looking for me to be in a different level of intimacy, I don't have time for that. Not right now.
And if I remember correctly, in our first emails or message back and forth, you asked me that. You were like, why do you want to meet, or why are you?
Was this stalker following me?
And I was like, oh no, he did. Ahí viene este naco con sus chingaderas a ver qué quiere.
I tell people, what's your intention to know me?
Yeah.
To know me at what level? It does. Get rid of chingaderas.
Because you did that on a message to me on the first interactions, and I thought, that is so powerful. That is so powerful.
Thank
it's
you.
Like you are asking to come into my space, and I need to make sure where I need to put you, because we do put people in spaces. I need to know where to put you. And I do that now with folks who approach me, because God bless, as the show gets bigger and people recognize me a little more.
And it will get bigger.
I need to know where you go, because I do, like you, I do several different things within our company. So I need to know, where are you coming from? Why do you feel the interest to talk to me? ¿Qué chingaderas traes? A ver, talk to me.
What's benefiting you to build that bridge? Is it a business interpretation? Why? Yeah. It's why. And people need to ask why. Why are you walking into my life journey? ¿Qué aportas?
So for everybody watching, this is Particular Conversations. I'm your host, Daniel T. Garza. My guest today is Mycah Lee Arellano, and we're talking about setting your boundaries, going toward your past, and chingaderas. We're just bringing up a bunch of chingaderas. We have another question on the board for you. It says, can I ask how you crossed paths with Oprah?
Oprah, you're hearing us? You got to interview this gentleman right here too. I don't know my little science or what they do it here, but with Daniel. And my talk shows, I was wanting to meet, and thank you for the question. I wanted to meet part of my, if you see a collage up there, okay, that's my brother-in-law's, but part of my Mycah and Mike visioning program. It's a 5-week course. We'll send you the information. You want a 5-week course, it's online. And I do the 25 minutes discovery. I give you a little feedback, and then you can have my PR company. But the thing is, I did a visioning collage. The visioning, you do a little collage and a visioning board. But the vision board that we use it goes to the right brain, left brain. People do a lot of that visioning, and it works, but you got to be very careful. When you put a visioning board, it absorbs you, and it will drown you. And my techniques is to take gratitude, appreciation, universe is giving you. Visioning, I say emotionally, psychologically, right brain, left brain. If you're doing just a collage, it'll happen, but you will not learn how to appreciate it. That I learned through the study. And so I had my collage and my screen and my desktop. And one of my sponsors came in and said, I guess they saw it later on the mentioned to me. And then one day they walked to my office. He goes, "Hey, what are you doing this coming months?" And I goes, "I have no engagement the weekend." He says, "Well, here's an envelope. You want to open it?" He says, so they paid the conference that Oprah had 3 days in Houston, 14. And it was part of my manifesting right brain, left brain, that one day I'll meet her. And they paid for the whole conference, met her. And in the ticket, Oprah selected 300 people only to either have, I think it was like 150 dinner or lunch. So I had the dinner. And then she did a speech and everything. And then you had her 5 minutes talking to her with photos. Remember her part of her workshop. She used the word bam, 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 bam. So when it was my turn, the gentleman said, "Are we going to start a conversation?" Why would I do it? That inner source says, use the word bam. So they open the curtain, 1, 2, 3, they go, Oprah, bam. She was in a corner and came running, hugging me. She says, "You get my message." From there, in meeting Oprah and the pleasure and the opportunity that I had, embracing you with her arms, oh, there you go. That's the moment. You own it, and it changes your life. I'm grateful for that, Oprah. I'm grateful for everybody who's given that opportunity. And her words were, "We will cross bridges later on. We'll cross that bridge for in the future for something." So I'm still having, one day we'll connect to do something. And her words were, "You nailed it. You own it, and things will come to you. The resources financially come to you." I take that from heart, and it inspired me. This is how I met Oprah. So years went by. My brother Tavi is an artist, very known. So he did the photo in his own creative painting, and that's going to go to my nonprofit an auction, $1,000. We're going to an auction. So we're giving back to the community. It's helping that joyful hands that I talk about. So it's giving back. So my brother's an artist. He gave me that to my foundation, which is my nonprofit that I created. And we're doing an auction so we can help global wide the psychological, emotional, mental health through clinicians that go and help people at no charge. And so I'm very grateful. And that's what you earlier said, why? I say, why not? The opportunities that God has given me, my inner source. There was a lot of questions sometimes I would ask about myself, and I said, "God, I need funding for the studio, for my production team. How do I, because you give me so much skills that I can't do it by myself." And then a phone call will come in, and they were sponsored. So why not?
So as this is a good segue because here on the show we have a segment called Words of Wisdom. And this is where we ask our guests to share some words of wisdom with the audience. So Mycah Lee Arellano, what words of wisdom would you like to share?
Believe in yourself. Everything begins with a vision. Everything. Todo empieza en una visión. And own it. Own it. And you will feel that, oh, own it.
Oh, that is awesome. Yeah, I mean, we're big vision boards. Christian and I did vision boards several years ago, and it took me a couple of years to get everything on my board. And the last thing that I needed to do was do my citizenship, which I did in 2018, and everything on my vision board was completed. So we're due for another one. But you're right.
We should do it before I leave. I got a couple of weeks. We could do it. I could
unos
coach
tacos,
you.
unos tacos de
Sí.
café y un
¿En
vision
qué
board.
no?
There you
Hey,
go.
cafe with the cups, you know.
I,
By the way,
but I
we're giving you,
feel,
I'm giving you one, and Christian, I'm giving one, and then you can give one extra for your audience in the next program or whatever. That's my
got it,
just
got it.
gratitude.
Okay.
Gracias por
And
todo.
I know exactly who would appreciate a cup like that. But you're right. When I talk to clients about vision boards or manifesting, I always tell them go beyond the material stuff. Go beyond. I want a new car. I want a new house, because
Yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
usually what people go for. I'm like, what what I just got chills. But what can you manifest in your life? What can you envision in your life that's going to make you a better person, so that you don't need the big shiny car. You don't need the big house to make you feel better.
You,
It's
you
that
get it later, but you
yeah,
get it later. Just what is your heart desire in when you're in yourself? Be healthier, be sober, whatever that might be. You know.
yeah.
So start in my collage when I do clients. We start first at center yourself. Who are you? You can ask yourself today 3 questions. Who are you? How do you feel? What you want? Answer with the questions you don't. You answer those questions. The answers you don't right, and bingo, you know that. There might be another question, right?
Yeah, yeah. So it's actually a common thing. It's like, Micah, wow, mind blown. Micah, your approach to your advocacy is sublime. Thank you. Yeah, it is. And with musical intro también. Tarán.
That's all
Every
right.
time,
That's,
every time you give Micah a compliment, an angel gets his wings. But um, I'm just so excited. We're down to the last 10 minutes of the show, and
yeah,
but I just honestly, we've had the pleasure of having the podcast and the live stream now for over 9 years, and they're just people like you that come and just charge us
can,
up
can,
with some new
can I say
energy.
something? Can I say
Please,
something? I just feel this energy present. You platform, both of you, bigger and better. Own it. We'll talk about it next time before I leave at lunchtime. I got something to share with you. I just feel that energy connection.
thank you,
And I'd
thank
love
you.
to
You
share that
know,
in private.
we I
No
think
soy,
the
oye,
reason
no soy,
that
no soy curandero, but I'm very spiritual.
hey, well, coming from somebody who's used to delivering messages to people, it's always nice when the guest like says, "Hey, I have something to tell you." I'm like, "Bring it." As long as it's not the IRS, I'm okay. Like, what are we? O la migra. Con tal de que no sea IRS o la migra, I'm happy. Let's talk about
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
Pero it's Christian and I, when we started Little Mixer Productions, when we actually registered it, our
Yeah.
company logo says it's a social enterprise, because we're very concerned that not only do we want our company to grow, but we want to put good stuff onto the community. So we look for guests that provide something bigger. We look for people or projects that are going to enhance the community. And
Yeah.
you sir definitely bring that energy to the show. So I'm so grateful that
Whenever y'all need me, I'm here. I mean, I'm traveling. I'll take a break like in August. I'll come back here. I'm very grateful for God and my support system. My home base is San Antonio, Texas.
There's a
California, San Antonio, con la gente in San Antonio. And then, I have in Cabo, but I go to Cabo when projects are developing. And I come back. I go to Texas, I go to California. So I'm traveling and I enjoy that. It's my passion. So I own that. I own that.
uh, before we're down to the last 6 minutes, is there anything that we didn't ask you that you'd like to share with the audience?
What I will say is believe in yourself. It is all yours. Whatever your heart desire wants and has it, it has it. Own it. Be kind to yourself, pay forward, and be someone from your heart. And everything will line up. Relationships and business.
That's excellent. Thank you. Yeah, I think
Because everything begins with a vision. Remember that.
that's everything with the vision. I don't wait till mañana. Do it today, and don't allow chingaderas in your life. And man, that's
Everything
gonna be my
together.
word of the day.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
gonna be
yeah.
the word of the day.
You can, before we close, you can find me on Mycah, on
Yes, I'm sorry.
Mycah.com.
Let me pull up your. I've been so caught up in the conversation, I forgot to bring up your website. Where are you? There you are.
So it's called the Mycah on Mike. That was the old one, kind of linked
Oh,
it,
that's the old.
but it's Mike.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Mycah on Mike.com.
All right. So
It's the
we'll put
same
that
thing,
in the
Micah.
description. We'll put that in the
Yeah,
description for you folks, so you can
yeah.
have it.
So
But Mycah, thank you so much for coming on the show. Thank you.
no, thank
Real
you
pleasure.
for having it in your guest. And remember, you'll give someone sometime this week a cup.
Sweet.
Uh, it's
And
colorful
I've
freedom
already,
from Tavi. You know?
I've already emailed your brother, so he should have the email
Oh my
too.
God, he's in your show coming up, right? Oh,
Yes.
you're gonna have fun. Oh my God, you're gonna have fun with it.
Plus, I've been talking to people about him already, so there
Yes.
are some connections that I want to hook him up with.
Yeah.
I'm excited. For everybody watching, let me thank you so much, Mike. Don't go away. I'm going to put you in the green room for just a minute. Thank you so much for being on the show. Uh, for everybody watching, thank you so much for being here. Remember that Little Mexican Productions has several shows on the air, so you can catch us every Wednesday at 6 p.m. with the Christian and Daniel Show. Fridays is the Card Devo, and on Saturdays it's Put Together Conversations with two scheduled episodes, 12 and 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, all Pacific Standard Time. Today we have a special show for Mycah. Yeah, we had to have a special show for Mycah, of course. So please join us. That's our schedule. Check us out. I want to remind you also that my book is out. If you have not checked it out, Grumpy Bunny and the Coach Game, you can find it on any of these local book dealers. Check it out. It's on pre-sale. It's out for delivery for the 21st. So if you have children, it's really for all ages, but it's dedicated to kids who need some help just channeling their energy. So Grumpy Bunny and the Coach Game, go check that out. Find us. If you're on Facebook, you can share this with your family and friends. Just post it on your page. You're always welcome to comment and be part of the conversation. To our friends on LinkedIn, thank you so much for being part of the conversation. You can also share this on your page. Our friends on Twitter, will you retweet this for us and let other people share? And our friends on YouTube, if you can just scroll down, hit that subscribe button and like our video. We really appreciate it. We so encourage you to be part of the conversation every Saturday. Join us every week for episodes. If you're on TikTok, that's a new show that we started here at Little Bit of Productions. If you're on TikTok, every morning from Monday to Friday, I have breakfast readings. So you can join me on there. It's basically an extension of the Card Devo show. So join me, grab your cup of coffee, grab your cereal or your breakfast, and breakfast readings Monday to Friday on TikTok. It's always about 9ish, depending when the coffee's ready. But you can join me there, and we'll do some readings and more stuff to come. We're just excited to keep growing and keep doing stuff for you folks. We're part of Clubhouse now on Apple. We're going to start the more Instagram shows. And at your request, if you have somebody you want to see on the show, please connect us and we'll gladly have them. And if you have a put it together story that you want to share, get in touch with us and we'll bring you on and we'll talk to you, see what you have to offer to the audience. For now, I want to thank all of you. I want to thank Mycah Lee Arellano for being here. I want to thank you for joining us. And this is Daniel Garza saying, hey, put it together. We'll see you next time.